Robin Hood, outlaw or hero? A man who robbed the rich, gave to the poor, and defied the king. But who was the real Robin Hood, and did he even exist? Today, on Country of History, we're diving into the legend, history, and mystery behind one of England's most famous outlaws. Was Robin Hood a noble hero or a cunning criminal? For centuries, stories have been told of a skilled archer and swordsman who roamed Sherwood Forest, stealing from the rich to help the poor. Robin Hood is often portrayed as a noble outlaw who fought against the corrupt sheriff of Nottingham and stood up to the powerful. But like most legends, the real story behind Robin Hood is layered with myth, exaggeration, and conflicting details. In medieval England, being an outlaw was no small thing. Laws were harsh, punishments were severe, and a fugitive faced a life on the run. So, what made Robin Hood different? Let's look at how the legend started and why he's remembered as a hero by some yet viewed as a lawbreaker by others. The first written accounts of Robin Hood appeared in ballads from the 14th and 15th centuries, centuries after his supposed existence. In these ballads, Robin Hood was depicted as a commoner who despised the wealthy elite and helped those suffering under unfair laws and taxes. But he was no saint. These early tales portray him as a rough, even ruthless character who wasn't afraid to kill in order to achieve his goals. Historians have struggled to pinpoint a real-life figure behind Robin Hood, and many believe he could have been inspired by multiple people. Some believe he was based on an outlaw named Robin of Locksley, while others think he was a composite of various rebels who resisted the monarchy during times of social unrest. But one thing's certain, the stories of Robin Hood resonated with the common people who saw him as a symbol of defiance against tyranny. And as the centuries passed, Robin Hood's image shifted from a rebellious outlaw to a hero fighting for justice. No Robin Hood story would be complete without his band of merry men, his loyal followers who helped him rob from the rich and give to the poor. Figures like Little John, Friar Tuck, and Maid Marian became central to the legend. But did they really exist? Or were they added to enhance the story? Historians believe that Robin Hood's merry men likely represent a mix of real-life outlaws, monks, and rebels who resisted authority. In some versions, they're depicted as loyal friends and skilled fighters, while in others, they're simply fellow outlaws banding together for survival. These characters serve to highlight the different facets of Robin Hood's persona, his loyalty, his wit, and his defiance. And they added to the idea of Robin Hood as a leader, one who could inspire others to resist oppression. The moral ambiguity: hero or outlaw? So was Robin Hood a hero or an outlaw? This question depends on perspective. To the poor, Robin Hood was a hero, taking from corrupt nobles who exploited them. His actions were a form of rebellion against unfair laws and rulers who taxed the commoners to the brink of poverty. However, to the authorities and the wealthy, Robin Hood was nothing more than a criminal. He robbed, he defied the law, and he resisted the king's power. His form of justice was vigilante justice, which was illegal and punishable by death. Some versions of the legend claim that Robin Hood was actually a noble who turned against his own kind to fight for the people, adding a layer of honor to his image. But early stories make no mention of noble birth, suggesting this was added later to romanticize his character. Whether hero or outlaw, Robin Hood's actions walk a fine line between justice and crime, making him one of the most morally complex figures in folklore. The historical context. Was Robin Hood real? Historians have searched for records of a real Robin Hood for centuries. Some trace him back to the reign of King John in the early 13th century, a time of political turmoil and rebellion. King John's oppressive taxes and conflicts with the barons led to widespread unrest, creating a climate where outlaws like Robin Hood could thrive. Others suggest that Robin Hood may have been a symbol of resistance during the reign of Edward II in the 14th century, when peasants and townsfolk were often at odds with corrupt local officials. In either case, the figure of Robin Hood reflects a time in England when the poor had few rights, and the powerful could exploit them almost at will. While we may never know if Robin Hood was a real person or simply a character created by the people's hopes and frustrations, his story speaks to the struggle against inequality and injustice that many felt throughout history. Today, Robin Hood remains one of the most enduring legends in history. From ballads to books, movies, and even animated adaptations, he continues to captivate audiences around the world. The idea of a hero who defies authority and risks his life for the poor is timeless and resonates across cultures. Robin Hood's story reminds us of the tension between law and justice, between power and resistance. Was he a hero, risking everything to stand up for the oppressed? Or an outlaw, breaking the law and taking matters into his own hands? Perhaps he was both, a hero to some, a villain to others, and ultimately a symbol of defiance against injustice. So, what do you think? Was Robin Hood a true hero or just an outlaw? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Country of History. Be sure to subscribe for more incredible stories that bring the legends and mysteries of history to life.